It is what it is with Triggz. Yeah, the boys. Hey, thank you very much, James. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you very much for everyone for joining me tonight. Obviously, you all know I haven't gone live telling stories because of situations that have occurred. I went live the other night. We're on Justice Crew. Love you, James. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sue. And the reason why I didn't talk too much that night was obviously because the video was supposed to be released, Wally, and it didn't get released for a whole heap of reasons. Naming one was because a lot of offers had come through, and what am I supposed to do, you know? You got a girl named Chappelle Corby who got caught with drugs in Bali, only marijuana, you know, and if it was an islander girl, if it was an Aboriginal girl, if it was anyone else, there'll be no one taking notice. But because it was a pretty Aussie girl, boom, everyone was on it. The media was on it. Everyone wanted to talk about it. And obviously Chappelle Corby was in and amongst the limelight back then. And her case was just like something of a celebrity, you know. Obviously she came here and she got paid a lot of money to tell her story. She also got paid to get on certain reality shows. So yeah, good on her. She did what she needed to do, and from what I hear, she's living a positive life. Chuck ye. Also for the other girl that got caught with drugs overseas in Colombia, you know, she made a lot of statements that were false. She to me, she should have just told the truth from the beginning because nobody cared. But she was on every channel telling a whole heap of lies, and then came out the truth of who she was and what she was about. But then again, if this was another girl, you know, a Lebanese girl, an islander girl, you know, like an Asian girl, no one would have taken any notice, you know. But because it was another Aussie girl who was reaching out with tears, you know, like obviously the government went above and beyond to try to get her out of there, you know, try to help her. And this is my thing. I'm not hating on it. Good on them, you know. They came back and they changed their lives, and that's what it's about, you know. No one's perfect. And anyone that you look at that thinks they're perfect, if they haven't made a mistake in their life, tell them, pick up a stone and throw it at you. You know, if they haven't made one mistake in their life, let me tell you something, no one is perfect, you know. We all go through a lot of things, and that's what it's about, you know. Leaving all the rubbish behind and moving on with your life. Before I move forward, obviously, I have to thank all my sponsors, because without my sponsors, this wouldn't be possible. So Zoom Car Wash, Aussie Tires, Dealer Car Sales, Blue Lagoon, Wollongong, Limited Bags and Boxes, Quick Smart Electrics, Sydney Dessert and Grill, Sparkle and Co Candles, and Confidential Cosmetics. And never forgetting also Will Hub, my man. Appreciate you all. That's all my sponsors right there. Love and respects to each and every one of you out there. Now, the 1 million in 1 year, that's my target, yeah. Ends, appreciate you. It's reached over $200,000. That's and then situation occurred last week where I was willing to give up some of the money, obviously because a lot of the $200,000, half of it went onto a business that I invested in. And pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my bank account, Maria P, and I'm going to do a video where I show each and every one of you out there how I made the money that I made. Obviously, my goal is 1 million in 1 year, but I'm going to narrow it down. Every single dollar that went into my account, I'm going to make sure that every single one of you see where it comes from, whether it came from a friend, whether it came from a business partner, whether it was my pay, because my pay, my work pay, I've got 3 jobs. It all goes in there, and it's all going in there because it's a part of my $1 million goal. All right. And like all of you guys saw, when the situation with the kidnapping happened, I was willing to give up this money and start my goal again. Vaughn, appreciate you. And this was only because I know how distressed the family was. And obviously everybody already knows now the story that I'm very, very close to the older brother Charlie, who I consider family. He helped me out with a lot of charity work that I was doing, and he's so discreet that he doesn't even want to be known as the person that helped Triggz give. You know, like if you guys don't know, like that's what it's about. You know, when you're giving and not wanting anything in return, and when you're giving, not looking for notoriety. All right, so that's Charlie, all in one. You know, like so when he reached out to me, this is the reason why I was willing to go above and beyond to try to help his younger brother George come home. But let's leave that for a second there, because before I even talk about anything, I need everybody out there to double tap. Let's get these likes up there, because remember, if the likes are pumping, then TikTok is gonna know that I'm doing my job, and if they know that I'm getting that traction, then they're gonna help me get myself more out to the world. You know, so the more likes, the better it is for my platform. So I need you all to please double tap. And I also need all of you guys to heart me. I don't know what that is. Here, see this thing here? This is called heart me. I don't know what it is, but my people tell me that I have to ask for heart me's. So heart me, people. Love yous. I appreciate you guys. Now, let's get to something serious. James, love ya. When I got out of prison after the 7 years, I've been out now for just a little over 5 months, all right? I got out May 30. Big John, appreciate you. So what happened was I tried to start my life off with a bang, yeah? But the worst thing about it, sorry everyone that's trying to call through, I'll do the battle stuff after I tell my story, so please don't call through. I'm not accepting any calls right now. Jack, appreciate you. Love everyone, love. Appreciate you, pineapples. All right. So when I got out after my 7 years, yeah, I wanted to start my life off with a bang. And everybody knows, the day I got out of prison, the boys picked me up, luxury cars straight from in front of the prison, and they took me straight to the hotel. And that day, that day, I married my now wife, yeah. A lot of people who go out of their way to show love for their partners, they're all like I don't want to talk down about these guys who have these types of relationships, but it needs to be said, because a lot of you girls out there use all cling on to gangsters, to people involved in the underworld, even if they're not gang related, you know, and you cling on them for support. But also, there's a lot of you women out there who are actually very sincere. You know, you love from the bottom of your heart, and you love so much that you're willing to put your life and your freedom on the line for these criminals. All right. So the point of what I'm saying is, when I got out, I started my life off with a bang, and I got married straight away. I spent a week with my wife, and I didn't even go see any of the boys. Like the only people I saw was my parents, my brothers who came pick me up, and then my wife. And I spent the whole week with her. All right. The week after was my way. Like, oh, appreciate you, thank you, and thank you to whoever just sent me that Galaxy. The week after, I was ready to go and bang out my license and all that. I didn't realize, because I was in for more than 5 years, I actually had to start my life again. Like, I thought, mate, I had my license before I went in, but when I came out, I said I had to do my L's again. I had to do my P's again. Joshua, Pelican, appreciate you. And the thing is, there was a new thing called a hazard test, and I was like, bro, what the friggin'? I couldn't get a break. Like on the second week of my release, I was going out of my way, and this is the thing a lot of criminals don't understand. You know, like if If you're given a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance, like, mate, take it, run with it, and do what needs to be done for yourself and your family. But a lot of boys get out of prison, and instead of doing what they need to do, they get straight back into the same crowd. They get straight back into doing what they used to do, and then they end up straight back in prison. Hey, who am I to talk? That's exactly what I was doing. Repetitive, got out, same crowd, same rubbish, back to prison. That's what I was doing, So my thing is, my parole officer, she was very strict on me, from not only from the way she spoke to me, but she was very harsh with wanting me to be on point with everything I do. And I didn't mind, because I was willing to listen to whatever parole had to say, Oosh, appreciate you guys. But when I went and tried to open up a bank account, the Commonwealth, ANZ, St. George, like all these Australian banks that you guys can think of, I went to open up a bank account. Guess what? Not one of them wanted to give me a bank account. How in the hell am I supposed to start my life again if none of these banks would give me an account? And I don't give a damn. I'm happy to freaking play with cash all day long. But the thing is, with criminals, there was a law that came in that if you had more than $2,500 in your hand, the cops could take it off you. And when they take it off you, you have to prove where you got it from. Now, I needed to get a job, so obviously I was set up with jobs as soon as I got out, Joshua, and I was straight into it. But I didn't have anywhere to put my money. I didn't have nowhere to pay tax. I didn't have anywhere to pay super. I didn't have anywhere to save. Like, how am I supposed to, adjust to society if the government is allowing this to happen? So remember, these big banks, this is what they do to guys who are high profile, yeah? So for example, all of you know that millions of dollars went through my hands back in 2017, 18. And because of this situation, a lot of these banks kicked me out because they didn't want a person like myself as a client. So the first time I saw this happen was to a close brother of mine named Mick Howard, yeah? He got a letter and it said they didn't want him as a client and to pick up a check with all his money on it and he can go somewhere else. So this happened to me in 2018 where every bank shut me out. And then I had to go on those internet banking, yeah? So as soon as I got out at this time, Emma, appreciate you. Thank you guys. As soon as I got out and no bank would accept me, like I went to every bank, yeah, and they all shut me up. A friend of mine recommended that I go to Macquarie because it's internet banking and then I could build my life up with Macquarie. And God bless, Macquarie allowed me to open an account. And from there on, I started my life upon release. So within the first 3 weeks, I was already going, I was already moving and shaking. Before I even got on social media, I was already going. And this is what I did when I finished my last 10 years from 2007 to 2017. As soon as I got out, Medicare card, passport, got rid of Centrelink. I adjusted straight away. I'm not the type who I was locked away for so long, so I struggle, mate, I adapt. Doesn't matter whether it's inside prison or outside here. Put me in any situation, any location, and I'll adapt. That's how I am. I'm very good at studying, the vicinity of the place that I'm at, and understanding very quickly what I need to do to be able to survive. That's me, yeah. And everybody that knows me knows that that's the type of person I am. So, cut a long story short, Macquarie allowed me to have a bank account. Then the kidnapping happened last week, yeah? Now, the kidnapping had nothing to do with me, had nothing to do with my guys that are close to me. We actually had no idea about it and had nothing to do with it. So this is the reason why I'm also going to bring up something in a minute, to all the shit talkers out there, everyone that's been talking a lot of rubbish on the comments, saying that they believe I was the one that set it up. I know you're just trying to get a reaction out of me. Love you, appreciate you. I know you're just trying to get a reaction out of me, or you're just trying to get me to reply to your comments. But you know what? Like, you have to understand. Like, I consider myself a public figure. You know, so when comments like that are coming up on my stories, you know, it's no good for the kids to see this type of stuff. You know, because then the kids actually think that I haven't left the life, you know what I mean? That I haven't left it behind. And it's because of these stupid comments like this. Just be wary, all you people that's trying to have a laugh on my at my expense. Like, I don't mind. Do what needs to be done, yeah? But just remember, when your kids are growing up, you're going to want someone like myself to be able to teach them how to navigate life, you know, not straying off that straight and narrow path that they were taught to follow. Because this is what happens. Parents can teach, but at the end of the day, once the kids walk out their door, like, that's it. It's on the kids whether they listen or not. All right. So to all you fools out there that's talking rubbish on my comments, please understand that you're not helping. You know, moving forward, the kidnapping that happened last week, the police were notified first. All right. So to all of you who don't know the story, but you're making out like you know everything about it, the police were notified first. All right. The family was sitting there struggling to understand what happened to young George. All right. Love you. Facts only. Appreciate you. And when an hour or two went by where they didn't get any information from police, and the police were just asking ridiculous questions that pretty much try to throw in their face that they were heavily involved in something, and that's the reason why this kidnapping happened. This is when the close brother Charlie reached out to myself. So to all you fools out there, I was never involved. I never had anything to do with it. I was minding my own business. I was at the gym relaxing after a big session when the phone call came through asking for help. All right. So stop getting things twisted if you don't know nothing. You know, you're seeing my short stories go up, and then you're trying to change the narrative. And if you're not trying to change the narrative, you're getting on there and just trying to create rubbish so people can hone in on me and put me down. And I don't mind. Put me down all you guys want. At the end of the day, I'm doing what I've got to do. But just remember, the younger generation are watching and looking at the comments, and then they're thinking that I haven't left the life. And that's not what I want for them to see, you know. I want them to know and understand that if I can do it, they can do it. Now, Macquarie Bank, for some reason, this morning, was it this morning, babe, or yesterday? Macquarie Bank.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday morning. I got an email, and on the email it said, we do not wish to have you as a client anymore, and you have 30 days to move your money out of our account. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? Love your facts. Like, mate, can't a guy get a break? Like, I'm doing the right thing. You know, I'm not only spreading love, I'm also spreading knowledge, you know. I'm also freaking educating. Like, I'm on the street getting my hands dirty. I'm not just talking it up. I'm actually on the streets getting my hands dirty, helping and doing what needs to be done. And then Macquarie Bank comes along and shuts me down for no reason. Yeah. And the excuse that they gave yesterday was hinting towards the fact that I was involved in what happened last week. And guess what, guys? To everyone that's listening right now, I believe deep down the reason why Macquarie Bank shut me down was because of the comment section where people said I was the one that set it up. You see what I mean, guys? Like, you've gotten my bank account shut down because of the jokes that you were telling on my comments. Now let me explain why this theory of mine has come up, all right? So the family of George, they explained to me something a couple of days ago, yeah? And they explained to me that authority told them, whoa, appreciate you facts. authority told them that they were watching my lives, and a lot of people that are connected to the government were excited. Also, the media were excited, and also all of you guys were excited for last Friday for me to release these docos that didn't come out, yeah? And the reason why everyone was so excited, it wasn't because they were happy for me because of the good deed I did. They were excited about it because they wanted to find a reason to shut me down, you know? And the specific words they used is, we have been watching Triggz comments. So to all of you fools out there who were commenting that I was the one that set it up, or you split the money with the oil-based Triggz. Like, I know you guys are just joking and mucking around, but just get it through your head, boys. Like, I just got my whole bank shut down, and now I have to start from scratch again. You know, like, I got nowhere for my pay to go in. I'm getting paid in tomorrow, or I think tomorrow. Yeah, every Thursday I get paid. Where's my pay gonna go? You know what I mean? And this is all because you guys are there commenting rubbish, and then Macquarie Bank has seen it, and they've sent me this email yesterday. Now, obviously, I've reached out to other internet banks to try to jump on board with their platform, or their branch, sorry. And God willing, I get something, because now the bosses of the companies that I work for are asking me, like, what are you going to do? Oh, love your facts. Love your Rocky. Please, guys, settle down on the gifts. We got battles coming up after, you know. Settle down on the gifts. I love you and I appreciate you. All I want you guys to do is double tap, hit these likes up, get these likes up. I love yous. Now, another thing besides the bank shutting me down, you know, is it's parole refusing me to go and see businesses that I was about to invest in. And it's understandable. I'm high profile. Before I got out of prison, I was extreme high security. So my parole officer wanted to give me the approval to go to Melbourne to see this investment that I wanted to be a part of. But her bosses, they told her straight. They said to her, look, he's high profile and we can't take the risk of him going there. But I didn't understand, because all they're doing is handing me over to the Victoria Police. So the Victoria Police would have held me down. They know how to handle people like myself, you know. So I never would have done anything wrong. And no, they were worried that I was going to go there and start trouble in another state. But this is where the point of me bringing all this up is, every single one of you out there who's gangstering, or every single one of you that's involved in crime, or every single one of you that's doing fraud. And I know there's a lot of you right now that's doing fraud, because this is the era of technology, yeah? My mom lost $15,000 from fraudsters. This is why I hate fraudsters with a passion. I knocked out 2 African guys at Silverwater because they said they were in for fraud. And it was because I was thinking of my mom. As soon as they said that they were in for fraud, I attacked them both in the phone box in pod 10. You know what I mean? But yeah, to all you guys out there that's in the middle of doing all this crime, just remember, what I am going through right now is what you're going to be going through if you keep going the way you're going, yeah? Like, you're not going to have a bank account. You're going to have authority on your back 24/7. As soon as you get out of prison, you're not going to be able to breathe, because no one wants to give you a job. No one wants to freaking trust you. Why? Because you're a criminal. Whether you're gang related or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when they look up your history, or if they Google your name and it comes up, good luck to you on freaking getting a good start to life, you know? And that's the problem right now, is there's a lot of opportunity out there, but not for criminals. You know what I mean? So God bless all the people out there that actually do give criminals a second chance, and they do help them get back on their feet. And mind you, there is a lot of people out there that help. As for myself, right now, I freaking can't do nothing. You know, the freaking government wants me to pay tax. How the hell am I going to pay tax? The freaking government expect me to pay my super. How the hell am I going to pay my super? Like, get it through your head. Yous were the ones that told all the banks to shut me out. And now that I'm not freaking paying my due diligence, you're probably going to lock me up for tax evasion. Right? I can't freaking win. And you wonder why all these creams that go in and out of prison complain. It's because of this. This is what happens. You know what I mean? This is why we need to get someone that's highly involved in parliament and whatnot to speak up for us who need a second chance. You know, there's a lot of yous out there that don't have a criminal record, and God bless each and every one of you out there because you've done the right thing your entire life. But use 110% have either a friend, a family member, or someone that you consider family, someone that you love. You all have someone that's been involved in some type of crime, you know, or has got a criminal charge. This is what I said to this security guard back in New Zealand who was like, I don't have a criminal record and none of my family have a criminal record. And I was like, shut up. You know, like, this is when he was searching me when I came through New Zealand, and he wanted me to give him the password of my iPhone, and I refused to give it. So he was giving me a hard time. And then I started saying to him, how would you feel if you had a family member who had a criminal record, they changed their life, and someone was harassing them? How would you feel? And then he started going off at me saying, I don't have a criminal record and none of my family have a criminal record. And I go, what about your bloodline? You know, your whole bloodline. I bet you someone there. He goes, no one, not one. He goes, keep your mouth shut. Like, you keep your mouth shut. You keep your mouth shut. You keep your mouth shut. This is what it was like in New Zealand. This big muscly Samoan guy. I was just freaking playing games. And mind you, when I was freaking having an argument with him, I was in my bloody undies because they wanted to strip search me and they wanted me to squat like I was in prison, and I refused to squat. And I said, I'm not squatting for you. Go F yourself. And I said, the closest you're going to get to searching me is me down to my undies. You can see nothing. Huh? I turned around into a little circle, did a little dance. I was just being a fool, you know. And as soon as I turned around, he's going, mate, at least pull your undies down. You know, we're not playing games. I said, mate, I'm not pulling my undies down. We're not in prison, and my parole is finished. Get the hell out of here. I've got Australian citizenship, dual, and I've also got a New Zealand citizenship, so you can't do nothing to me. Anyway, it was just beyond me how this Samoan guy just carried on like a gangster. You know, I was like, bro, why are you acting like a gangster? He's trying to actually put it on me, but the only reason why he's trying to put it on me was because I was in my undies. And then I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm just gonna freaking play games with this guy. I refuse to give the password of my phone. But yeah, all of you that day, yo, King OMZ. I love you, I appreciate you, thank you very much. So yeah, just straight facts. Honestly, to everyone out there that's involved in anything that's got to do with crime, yeah, be aware. I'm warning you, giving you fair warning right now. Look at me. I've actually gone out of my way to change. I'm actually doing the right thing. Yet I'm getting hammered every time I'm walking that straight line. There's always something hitting me off the straight and narrow track. You know, like, what the hell am I gonna do now without a bank account? You know? So if anyone out there owns a bank, hit me up. I'm down for James Brown. Moving on from Macquarie Bank. Let's narrow down all this hate that's been coming through my comments, because I'm telling you right now, you know, it's just my thoughts. No one else's thoughts. It's just my thoughts. That the reason why Macquarie Bank has shut me down was because of my comment section, where everyone was saying that I was the one that set it up. Get it through your guys' head. I know a lot of you are just joking. You're just trying to get a reaction out of me. But please, guys, fire out. Leave me the hell alone, bro. Like, I'm down to have a laugh in that. You all see me. Look, you know, as bad as everyone makes me out to be, I'm actually very, very easygoing. You know, I love to have a laugh. You know, and the only time I react is if someone steps on my toes. You know what I mean? But please, like, guys, just be aware the things that you say harms me. Like, I am known as being high profile out here. You know what I mean? So even though I'm not doing anything, they're always going to think I'm doing something. And because I have an FBO order, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's called a firearms prohibition order, meaning they can search me wherever I am. So even if I'm inside a shop, like a cafe or something, yeah, they can just walk over and search me inside there, and then they can search the cafe. Because why? Because I was in the cafe. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. I said it to my parole officer yesterday. I said to him, I got a new parole officer, by the way, and I said to him, look, I get searched no matter what. I understand this, and I don't have an issue with getting searched. I don't care if there's 10,000 people standing around. If they come over and they want to pat me down, by all means, pat me down. Because you know how I see it? I am the one who put myself in this situation. I am the one who got myself involved in crime. Doesn't matter if I'm innocent or not. At the end of the day, you are who you surround yourself with, yeah? And I surrounded myself with criminals. So how am I going to be treated when the police and government turn up at my doorstep? They're going to treat me like a criminal. Why? Because of the people I surround myself with. Now, I said it to my parole officer yesterday. My thing is this. If I am not doing anything wrong, if I have nothing to hide, then I'm good. Search me all you want. And by the sounds of what my parole officer was saying, like he realized like I was a man that has lived a life of crime, but I have now matured. You know, I now understand right and wrong. You know, I don't pick and choose what's right and what's wrong. You know how a lot of boys, they do a crime and then after they do the crime, they go, bro, trust me, like I wasn't even there. Like, and even if I was there, like the boys were the ones that did it. Mate, you put yourself in that situation, so you're gonna get charged. You are a part of it. That's you, you know, like stop trying to get yourself out of it. At the end of the day, when the boys caught, you jumped in that car. So that's it. And that's how I feel, you know. I put myself in that situation. I take full responsibility for everything that I've done. But I'm on a path of change right now, you know, and it's very hard for me to change when I've got a lot of people trying to write stupid things. Thank you, Amanda. Stupid things on my comments. So please, to everyone out there, pass the word on. Like, just be aware when you're commenting on my stories, because the police, the government, and my parole are watching, and especially the media. They are watching the most, you know what I mean? Because, mind you, this is what they told to my cameraman. So media, because they couldn't talk to myself about it, about the kidnapping charges and whatnot, obviously everyone knows every channel was reaching out to me for a story, and I refused to reply. So what they did was they reached out to my camera guy and they started trying to hit him up for stories, you know what I mean? I'm sorry to everyone that's calling through and I'm cutting you off. The only reason why I'm cutting you off is because I want to tell these stories the best way possible. Now, before I move on to the next story, which is actually nothing to do with crime, but just something heartfelt, please, everyone out there, double tap and heart me. That's all I ask from you guys, is to double tap and heart me. I love yous. I appreciate yous. And to everyone that's gifting while I'm talking, my love and respect. All right. I went yesterday with my wife, and I was asked how much it would cost to promote a support service group or company. So for those of you who don't know, I get bombarded on a daily basis with not only messages, but also offers. And when I say offers, I mean like people wanting me to promote their companies or their businesses for money. They're willing to pay me for it. You know, and there's been some big names that have reached out to me asking me to promote alcohol and cigars, and I even knocked that back. And I didn't knock it back because I thought I was gonna be a somebody, or because I thought I was I had more pull than they did. I literally knocked it back because I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So why would I promote that to the kids and to the community? You know what I mean? Like, I have nothing against any of the boys or any of the females that promote cigars, alcohols, and gambling. I have nothing against them. Do your thing, make your money. It is what it is with Triggz. But me, myself, I would never do it because I actually don't do that stuff, you know? And when I got asked by this support service, how much would it cost to promote their company. I asked them to tell me a story. Let me hear your story. Like, what are you about? How many clients have you got? When his message came through, it was so heartfelt. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Sleeful. It was so heartfelt. Like he said, look, we're a support service mainly for disability patients. And as soon as I heard the word disability, I sent him a message straight back, and I was like, bro, I don't want your money. Just tell me where and when, and I'll be there. And he's like, what? And I go, yeah, wherever you're going to be, I'll be there with my wife, and we'll promote your company. But I'm going to tell you straight, if I am there and I don't deem your company worthy, then I won't promote it. It's as simple as that. Because I told him, we can film, we can have fun, we can kick back, but I have to edit, my team have to edit these videos together. And if the people who are giving me big money see it and they don't deem it suitable, or if they look into it and see that there's that this company has a criminal background, then straight away my people will say no. And they don't have to say no. I would say no too, because why would I promote something that has a criminal background or that has criminals in and amongst it? I don't have an issue with criminals being in and amongst stuff as long as they're doing the right thing. So this is what I told this company. I said, I'm willing to come and sit down with you and do what needs to be done, but I'm not promising you guys anything. I just want to see your clients, and I want to see what you guys are about. Man, he sent me his appreciation, and he gave me a time and a place of where to be. My wife, if you guys don't know, she was also a support person for a lot of clients that got out of prison and a lot of clients that had bad mental health. And when I pulled my wife away from her job, a lot of her clients were not only shedding tears, but they would keep calling her, like asking her to come back. Like, there's a reason why my wife has got the nickname Sweetness. Like, everyone loves her, and no one's got a bad word to say about her. You know what I mean? She's very straightforward with everything that she does. She doesn't beat around the bush, and she does not talk behind people's back. And that's why she is well loved, not only by my people and her people, but also by people that she meets. Now, this support service group is called Enrich Support Services. All right. They deal with mostly disability patients. Now, when I went there with my wife yesterday, I didn't expect much, but wow, Spurs, Griffo, appreciate you guys. I didn't expect much, but it was a shock to my eyes. I didn't realize that a few of this man's clients were fans of mine, and I don't take the word fan lightly, because when I hear the word fan, I just laugh. I'm like, get out of here, fan. I'm just one of the boys. That's it, or I can be an older brother giving brotherly advice. That's it. And I don't see me as having fans. So when this word came out of the brother's mouth, like I was a bit dumbfounded, But meeting these young guys who were disabled, it was something that touched mine and my wife's heart, because there was a Tongan guy shook my hand straight away, and he was saying it is what it is with Triggz, and there was also a young girl over there who was like saying she appreciated me turning up. Like, these people on a daily basis are going through struggles, yeah? So people like me and you out there, everyone that's watching my live right now, we're going through nothing compared to what these guys are going through yesterday, And God bless those support workers and coordinators that run Enrich Support Services, because I'm telling you guys right now, they are doing a hell of a job. If you have anyone in your family that has bad mental health and you can sign them up for NDIS, get them over to Enrich Support Services. I'm not trying to promote them. I'm just telling you facts, yeah? These guys are doing an amazing job, and their client base is not just Pacific Islanders, it's anyone. Yeah, like there was a lot of Pacific Islanders who were disabled that were with them, that I met yesterday. But there was also females over there, like that were Australian, who had been to prison as well, and you can tell that she's been through a lot, like way more than I've been through, very strong-willed woman, because when she spoke up, I was like, whoa, like she demanded respect the way she spoke, so you could tell that she had been to prison. And this is what I'm saying. For all of you youngsters out there, and for all of you out there who are just living your life, not thinking of anything, trying to block everything out so you can make your money, so you can, protect your family and do what needs to be done for your family. Get this through your head, yeah. There's people like these kids who are in this disabled place that are going through way more than you are. So when you're stressing about the most minute dramas, when you're stressing about the most trivial matters, just remember, there's someone out there that's doing it way harder than you. So try to build a bridge and get over it. That's as simply as I can put it. Again, my love and respects to Enrich Support Services. You guys are doing an amazing job. And anyone out there that has family members who are having mental health issues or who can't handle taking on the responsibilities of their disabled family members or friends, give them a holler. Let me tell you something. They'll take care of them, and they'll take care of them the right way. Now, before I move on to the next story, again, guys, I need you to double tap, get these likes up so that TikTok may be able to share my story to the world. The more likes I get, the more friggin' my stories will get out there to not only the children out of Australia, that like New Zealand and the close Pacific Islands, but I wanted to get out there to America, to England, Barcelona. I want to go around the world. I want to go worldwide, but it's not going to go worldwide if these likes aren't going to be pumped. So please double tap, get these friggin' likes up. Now, before I move to the next war stories, I just want to give a big shout out, yeah? This is going to be a big shout out to 2 juvenile workers. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel the need to do it. So when I was coming up in the gang world and I ended up in juvie, there was a lot of harsh workers, especially the Pacific Islanders that worked in juvie. They would beat up the kids, and there was also a lot of juvie workers that did a lot of bad things to the kids while I was there. I'm not going to get into detail. It's a lot of this stuff is going through court right now, and I was also one of the kids that got beat up in juvie when the cameras weren't watching. I'm not making any noise about it, but a lot of boys have made noise about it because they want to be paid compensation, which is what they deserve. You know what I mean? But I want to give a big shout out to these 2 workers in juvie. How do I put it? These guys, they were 2 Islander guys that really, really tried their best to help all the boys in juvie. One of them is named Leo, and the other guy's name is Paris. Like, yes, there were a lot of other workers that were really good. For example, Nancy from Cobham as well. I could go on with the amount of good workers, but I just want to highlight these 2 workers, yeah? Leo and Paris. They both worked at Cobham Juvenile Justice when I was there. And let me tell you something. These 2 used to go above and beyond, yeah, for the kids. And I was like a little wannabe gangster, yeah. And so it was hard for me to accept such kindness from a worker. Now, they're not screws, these guys were actually just normal people coming from the outside, trying to help juveniles. Right now, in juvie, doesn't matter what juvie you go to, everyone that's working in there can be considered a screw, because juvie has now been turned into pretty much like a prison. You know, it's only juveniles there, but it's so harsh. Like, they demand so much from these kids. And let me tell you something, the way juvie is run now, these kids are not going to change. You can put them in all the programs you want, but these kids are plotting and planning when they get out of juvie. Because why? Because of how they're being treated in juvie. Not only are they being treated like little kids, but they're being demanded to do certain things, yeah? And if they don't do these certain things that they want, for example, education and whatnot, their privileges are taken off them. Now, you have to think about it. If you're sitting in juvie and you're not allowed to have a TV, how are you going to feel? You know, if you're doing something wrong in juvie and then you get told you're missing out on a meal, how are you going to feel? Like, they're not allowed to do these things to you, but I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. The reason why I know this is because of the juvenile kids that I have been speaking to in the last couple of weeks, the ones that have just got out of juvie. They told me all about this rubbish that's been going on in juvie and how harsh it is, you know. A lot of the kids told me how they're getting beat up in juvie as if they're prisoners, you know. And this is what I'm going to highlight this hard, because the government needs to friggin' understand, yeah? You've turned the New South Wales juveniles into prisons. You've given them all these restrictions. You know, you're not allowing them to be kids. And now these kids are going to get out and they're going to end up hating authority so much that they're going to strive to be the best gangster they can be. And why is this? Because of you guys, the government. Why is this? Because of you guys, the police. You know what I mean? Yes, there's a lot of good programs in juvie right now. Yes, there's a lot of positive things that's happening in juvie. But the way the kids are being treated, mate, I don't condone it whatsoever. When I was in juvie, we went through a lot of crap, yeah? But the crap that we went through in juvie was okay, because we had workers like Leo and Paris, you know, the ones who used to come and sit down with us and talk to us when we were down and out. You know, the ones who would cheer us up when family members weren't allowed to come in and visit due to some type of complication, you know, or due to technical difficulties where alarms and cameras and stuff weren't working, you know. Like, to have juvie workers like Paris and Leo support us kids as we were growing up. I'm telling you, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because through my whole jail time, yeah, from 2001 all the way to 2025, I have heard these two workers' named time and time and time again. Leo and Paris, Leo and Promise. They were the best workers, I swear. Also, they were the best. And there was a point when I was outside as well. I got out of juvie and I was supposed to do community service. I was there mowing my lawn, and I was rocking my lawnmower up and down Blacktown with these guys, and I was sweating, and you know, like, I hated life. And then out of nowhere, Leo pulls up, and like, I looked and like, who the hell's that? Isn't that Leo worker? Right? He actually got out and he asked me how I was. He asked me if I was all right. He asked me if I needed anything, and then he invited me to come to one of his DJ gigs. And I was like so shocked. I was like, bro, what the hell? Like, I'm outside of juvie. You don't have to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can just live your life. But guess what? This is what these workers were about. And, you know, I say that I got my kind heart from my parents. And obviously my violent side, I picked it up along the way. But you know what? A lot of the kindness that comes out of me is because of that worker, Leo, you know. My brother spent a lot of time with Paris, but I spent a lot of time with Leo, and the kind heart that he had towards all of us juvies. It didn't matter because for those of you who don't know, when I was in juvie, the girls used to come to where we were. So it wasn't just juvenile boys, also juvenile girls. And Leo treated everyone the same. The most kind-hearted worker that I come across, especially Paris as well, is to go above and beyond. And when kids would do wrong, they wouldn't try to bash you. They wouldn't try to lock you in your cell. I swear, they would literally give you space, and then they'll come over to you, sit you down, and talk to you to make sure you're all right. And you wonder why I'm like this. This is the reason why I have such a kind heart is because I met people like Leo, but in full, the kindness that I show on a daily basis, I actually learned it from my parents, and along the way I could have lost that kindness, but because I met people like Paris and Leo, I've kept it up, and I've used it on a daily basis. Now, moving on from the two brothers, Leo and Paris, again, big shout out, big love and respects to them wherever they are in this world. I haven't forgotten, and let me tell you something, no one inside prison has forgotten you guys either. Everyone that went through juvie that met you guys, they all send love and respects, and they're the type that has said to me straight up, also, if I saw them on the street, I would shake their hand. Now, let's move on to the bigger stories. Let's get it. Before I move on to these big stories, guys, I need you guys to double tap and get these friggin' likes up, yeah? Pump these likes and heart me. I'm going to friggin' be telling these stories that the younger generation need to understand, but I need you guys to do your due diligence and just pump these likes. Let's get it up there. Love and respect to each and every one of you out there who is sending through gifts. I apologize if I'm not thanking you while I'm telling my story, but please know that it is greatly appreciated. I love you. Now, there's a story that a lot of people have been asking me about, and it's a story about Ray Martin. And then obviously the name Taufahema was brought to my attention. And then also a story about an Asian guy named Leo Tran. Which story should I start with? Look, I'm not telling a story about Taufahema. I'm just going to be fixing up a few of the comments that was said when I mentioned Taufahema's name, yeah? So a lot of comments that came through that my team had screenshot, they were saying to me, why are you talking so highly of Taufahema when he's a snitch? Why are you sticking up for Taufahema when he's a dog? Like, man, appreciate you guys. So I let it go now for about a month because a lot of people were questioning my friendship to Taufahema when I explained his story, and the story that I told was very small, the story that I told is nothing compared to what Bui has been through. Like, he's been through everything, yeah. But the reason why I'm gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna knock a nail in all the what you call comments, and also to all the private messages that I've been getting from fake pages about Bui. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be straight up. If you have something bad to say about Bui, then I dare you to say it to his face. I've come across a lot of wannabe gangsters, and I've come across a lot of real gangsters, yeah? And yeah, they do what needs to be done. But see, Bui, I grew up with him, yeah? And the guy, he's about it. He does not hesitate. He does not take a backward step. And he will back you to the death if he loves you. That's the way Bui is. So to all of you guys who were calling him a dog and calling him a snitch, let me explain to you the story. Hachi, appreciate you guys. Thank you for the dinosaur, my man. Love ya. This is where we're at with Bui. Yes, he did make a statement against his own friends. But the thing is, yeah, the police got him when he was heavy on drugs. So he was overdosed on drugs. Like, he didn't overdose, but I'm just saying the system inside of him was filled with different types of drugs. So for all of you who remember the story I told about 2 weeks ago for a guy named Rabi who hit a little kid when he was the drugs were in his system. It wasn't just one drug. It was a whole heap of different drugs that was in his system when he accidentally unalived the little girl. I think, pretty sure it was a little girl, yeah? So Taufahema was in this situation. His whole body system was filled with different types of drugs. Not only that, he was on alcohol bad, right? Whoa, love your niece, appreciate you. Please, guys, save all your big gifts for the battle. Yeah, I'm gonna need you for my battle. So, to save all your big gifts. I love you and I appreciate you guys. So, yes, Boy did make a statement. I seen this statement. I was very taken aback when I saw it because Boy is one of the hardest men that I've come across. Like, he's much harder than his brothers, even his older brothers, you know. And I'm only saying this because I've actually been there during his actions, you know. Like, there was a brawl that broke out at Blacktown. I'm just gonna tell this story quickly, yeah. This brawl that broke out at Blacktown, it was against Middle Eastern boys and the Islanders. Now, you had all these boys in the front line. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to put them on show. And they were all like yelling, yeah, what? The Middle Eastern boys were all muscly fellas. And when the tension occurred, I was walking through and I was minding my own business. I had nothing to do with it. And I was just looking and I just saw a big group. It was probably about 30 on 30, yeah? And as I was walking, one of the Islanders yelled out to me and said to me, Uso, it's Liam, appreciate ya, love ya. They yelled out to me and they said to me, come, it's Boy and Philly. One said, guys, I just got to do this puzzle. Oh yeah, I'm not an AI, you know. All right, so this brawl that was about to break out, the boys called me over, so I walked over, obviously, because I was back in the Taufahema brothers all the way when I was young. And as I walked over, all I seen was a front line filled with Islander soldiers at my age at the time, like 16, 17, 18 to 21, 22, yeah? And they were all mouthing off at each other, the Middle Eastern and the Islander boys. And Boy Taufahema, he was just standing there. He was just standing there like this, really quiet, yeah? While everyone was mouthing off at each other, what? And then when I walked over and I looked at them, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get involved in this unless it breaks out. So I'm just going to stand back. So I stood back and I just watched it because I had nothing to do with it. And they had heaps of boys. They didn't even need me there. So as I was standing there and all this freaking yapping was going on, Boy Taufahema pushed his way through to the front, yeah? As he got to the front, he walked straight over to the Middle Eastern boys. 3 of them, who were muscly guys, stepped back. And when they stepped back, Boy just walked straight in and he just cracked the muscliest one. As he cracked him, boom, the brawl broke out. Everyone just started brawling. But Boy was in the front. And let me tell you something, guys. You know everyone that was in the front of the line who was yapping, yeah? They were all older. They were all Boy's older boys. So Boy was the youngest, all right? He walked in the front while all these older boys were yapping, and he just cracked the muscliest Middle Eastern guy, and then the brawl broke out. When the brawl broke out, I'm telling you right now, he was taking on at least 5 guys, yeah? Me, I had nothing to do with it. So what I did was, whichever Islander boys were outnumbered, I would just run over and clock whoever I had to clock from the side. So pretty much I was cheap shotting everyone, but I didn't really nothing with it. I think I cheap shotted probably about 3 guys that night. But it was all in brawl, as everyone can do whatever the hell they want. And again, not one person had weapons. This was a good, clean brawl. It was all fists, yeah? Cheap shots, all good. So this is the reason why, like I'm saying, like this is, I understand that you want to call Boy a snitch because, yeah, he wrote paper, he made a statement. But you have to understand, I read this paperwork, yeah? The police even said he was heavily influenced, like on drugs and alcohol. So when they were talking to him, they were telling him, if you give us all the information right now, we will let you go home to your family. And his family members were very, very sick at the time, yeah? And he was off his face on drugs and alcohol. Now, I'm not making an excuse for Boy, for what he did. I'm not making an excuse. All I'm going to say to you is this. I grew up with him, and he is about it, yeah? Like, freaking, mate, he's better than most that have a big name today, you know? He goes on with it. Like, all of yous know that he's inside prison right now and he can't defend his name. But let me say something. You know how yous are all calling him a snitch, yeah? He's inside prison and he's going to every main. All right, so you got protection and you've got a main, yeah? Anyone that's a snitch or a dog has to go to protection. Now, yes, Boy did make a mistake, But this is what Boy did. As soon as he realized he made a mistake, obviously the drugs got out of his system. His older brother Oscar went off at him because of the statement that he made. Bro, he didn't even realize it. He didn't even know he said anything, yeah? He went above and beyond to retract his statement. Yeah, it was too late because he had already done something. He had already said what he said. And a lot of good boys did time because of what Boy said. But he did try to make it right. And till this day, Boy has never gone to protection. Every main he goes to, yeah, he tells everyone straight. That's what makes me laugh. It's like all these people that are talking rubbish about him, have a look at him. He's in prison, yeah? And every time he gets into a main, he just tells everyone straight, you got an issue? Let's go to the cell. Like, he doesn't care if you've got a shiv or not. He's like, come, we'll go. He fights anywhere, anyone, anywhere. He doesn't care. And he lays people out. When I say lays people out, he knocks them the F out, all right? Now, at Nowra prison, just before I got out 5 months ago, there was an incident that happened at Nowra. So it's probably about 9 or 10 months ago, yeah? The officers were telling me that Boy is one of the most violent people that they've come across. Mate, not only did he go off at all the screws during COVID and that, he climbed up on the roof, yeah? And remember, they will when I tell you that they shoot gas, they actually shoot it out of a gun, yeah? And when the gas comes, like, obviously it goes everywhere, and then everyone's rubbing their eyes because it stings and whatnot. Now, they were shooting these gas canisters at Boy at Nowra prison, and he had, I don't know what he had in his hand, but he was using it like a cricket bat, and he was hitting it, all the gas away. This Boy was being hammered with friggin' gas, yeah, and he didn't care. The officers were like, we couldn't friggin' get him off the roof. This guy, he wanted to fight everyone. He didn't care who it was. He didn't ask anyone for help. He didn't ask anyone to jump on the roof with him. All he wanted to do was fight screws, and that's what he did, you know. This is what I mean. You know, like, you got 9 to 5 guys who have nothing to do, you know, and they think that they know about gang life, and then they just start talking rubbish. Just like the same thing that happened with me. I'm sitting inside prison, and then I got all these people talking a lot of rubbish about myself, you know. And I had to come out here and straighten all these rubbish out. So now I'm here straightening out Boy Taufahema's rubbish, all right? Yes, he did make a statement, and I read it myself. I was very, very disappointed in him. But when I read it, I realized that the cops got him when he was heavily influenced on drugs and on alcohol. Like, and I'm not just saying a little bit. Like, it actually says in his statement heavily, you know, like, he had a lot of different types of drugs in his system. So he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And by the time he realized, straight away he wanted to retract the statement and make it right with his co-offenders, you know. And like I said, I'm not making this up as an excuse. All I'm saying is the bloke has been defending his wrong for the past 10 years, yeah? And not one person in the system inside prison has been able to put him in the boneyard. Bro, the bloke doesn't give a damn. He'll lay out anyone that calls him a dog. So to all of you that keep saying things to me, I'm not trying to stick up for him. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. All I'm trying to say is, like, that's what happened. And if you got something to say, then go say it to his face. Well, good. Leave me alone. Leave me out of it. Like, mate, I never said that I was gangbanging with the Taufahema brothers. I was never gangbanging with the Taufahema brothers. I grew up with them, and we were very, very close. And then we parted ways. The reason why I parted ways from them is because these boys, they all touched drugs and alcohol. Me, growing up, I never touched anything. So I went and found my own path of gangstering on. And they had their way of gangstering on, and I had my own. So I don't want you to keep thinking that I'm sticking up for Boy or whatnot. I'm just telling facts. That's what my platform is about, telling facts, yeah? So if you got anything to say to Boy, good luck to ya. Go and say it to the bloke. He's in Supermax right now, and he'll be getting out of Supermax soon. And if you have a friend inside prison that you think is about it, then tell them to go call him a snitch. Good luck to ya. Yalla. All right. That's Boy Taufahema's story. I'm not going to go talk any more about him. I just thought that I would correct it because a lot of you out there talk a lot of rubbish about him, yeah? But none of you will go say it to his face. Yeah. Anya, do what you gotta do. So, again, everyone that's out there, please, double tap, get these bloody likes up. Let's tell this story about Ray Martin. There was history between my brothers and I and Ray Martin. Not just my brothers and I, my sister as well. I didn't really want to tell this story, but you know what? Like, I think it's a story that the younger generation will learn from. That's the only reason why I'm willing to tell this story. I'm not trying to put Ray Martin on show. He's obviously he was locked up. I don't know if he's still locked up, but he's like myself and my brothers. Went in and out of prison, you know, like his whole life. But a big situation occurred inside prison with Ray Martin, and this situation occurred obviously because of myself and my brother 212 Heat. But the reason why this happened is a big learning curve to the younger generation that's up and coming now in the criminal world. Now let's get to it. For all of you younger generation out there that's doing what needs to be done for yourselves, and I'm talking about the criminal stuff you are doing, remember, everything you do, you know, there's going to be repercussions. And this is the same as the guys who did the kidnapping last week. Like, you know, they're spending time now away from the area and doing what they need to do to be able to survive. Like, obviously the police are still chasing them, but the family who they were involved in kidnapping, remember, they're legitimate family. So George, Charlie and their family, they're legitimate family. They will never ever seek revenge, or they will never ever try to retaliate. Why? Because they're a legitimate family, yeah? But remember how I told you guys that they got the wrong guy, that George was the wrong guy? You know, the guy that they were supposed to kidnap, he's actually a gangster. And he found out that he was the target. So this is what I say. Repercussions, yeah? Those boys that did what they did, the guy that was supposed to be nabbed, he knows now that it was supposed to be him, you know, and now he's going to be getting ready to do what he needs to do. So to everyone out there that's in and amongst crime right now, just remember, you know, there's a lot that's going to come back on you if you keep doing what you're doing. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to be your role model. I'm just telling you my story with the hope that you learn from it. And what the boys did last week with their kidnapping, like, you know, God willing, nothing happens to them. God willing, the guy that I know about, doesn't go above and beyond to retaliate, because I know that he's about it. But let's have a look at the streets, yeah? With Ray Martin's story, it's all started from my sister in Bankstown. So if Ray Martin is outside and he's watching this will probably be the first time Ray Martin has ever heard me talk about this situation. You know, so throughout the years, I have sent him many messages. All he had to do was apologize about what happened, and I would have let it go. But because he refused to apologize, my guys were always doing what they needed to do to attack him. You know what I mean? And, you know, that was the old me. You know, if it was the me now, I would have sat him down and I would have taught him a good lesson because my sister was the one that got harmed, you know. But back then, all the boys in the crew found out that my sister was harmed, and then straight away everyone was on the path of revenge, you know. Even though it was a little incident, at the end of the day, if you're messing around with a gangster's sister, you know you're gonna cop it. It's as simple as that, you know. So let's talk on Ray Martin, because Ray Martin has never heard this story from me, you know. So I'm about to explain it properly now. My sister was at Bankstown train station, and she just finished university. All right, my sister's a good girl. She's never been involved in crime. She's never been involved in nothing. I even had a fallout with my sister because she hated the fact that I was a criminal. You know, I had a fallout with my sister because she deemed me the reason for my brothers following in my footsteps. Now, my brothers are big boys. They make their own decisions. Yet my sister chose to blame me for their antics. You know, even though my brothers went and did things off their own accord, I didn't order them to do it. I didn't tell them what to do. My sister still blamed me. You know, and you know what? I'll take accountability. At the end of the day, I am the oldest, and I should be the one to lead the right path. But I didn't. You know, I've been a criminal since I was a kid. In year 2, that was the first time I got caught stealing. All of you know, year 2, everyone's going to be sitting there, what the hell were you doing being a criminal at year 2? Yeah, that's how long ago I was being a little nuisance, you know. But the situation with Ray Martin and my sister wasn't very clear. All I knew was that the name of the person was Ray Martin, and he was the one that tried to assault my sister. So at the train station, an incident occurred, and I don't know what my sister had gone and said to Ray Martin, but Ray Martin was trying to talk to her. I don't know if he was trying to pick her up. I don't know if he was just trying to be funny or be cocky around her. But my sister must have said something to the effect of like, go away, along those lines. And he kind of got offended because everyone was there watching and listening, and it kind of put him on show. And for those of you growing up as kids, you all know once you get put on show, you straight away you click it, you know, especially if you're gang related. And now apparently he was gang related at the time. He was young, so I don't know how he was gang related, but apparently he was gang related. So when my sister was at the train station and he got offended, he had, I think it was a stick in his hand, yeah? And my sister was walking along the wall. Now, Ray Martin started hitting the stick at the wall next to her face, and he was like trying to scare her, and he was saying to her, do you know who I am? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Do you know who I am? And then he started saying the gang name Hell's Angels, you know? Like, who do you think you are? You know who I am? You know who I am? And he kept trying to hit her. Now, some people say my sister got hit. Some people say that my sister didn't get hit. He was just trying to scare her. But at the end of the day, her older brothers were in prison when Ray Martin did this. And number 2, she's a female. And number 3, like, what are you doing trying to intimidate a young female who just finished school and is a good girl? That's how I saw it, you know. And obviously Ray Martin did it not knowing that he was messing with the Vaiusu brothers' little sister, you know. The train guard was the one who ran down when he saw my sister getting harassed by Ray Martin, and he stopped it by saying the police had been called, and he was trying to push my sister to jump onto the train, you know. And this is when my sister jumped on the train and left. Now, my sister hates mine and my brother's gang-related stuff so much that she didn't even tell us that this happened to her. You know, it was people who were there at the time when it happened. They were the ones who reached out to us while we were in prison and explained to us what Ray Martin had done. Now, I realized that Ray was the same age as my sister, so they were both young, you know, and I didn't want to send boys to go and bash him because obviously he was young. So I sent a message for him to apologize. And instead of apologizing, he bridged up using the gang name Hell's Angels. And then from that day forth, how long? It's been over 10 years. Like this drama's been going on. This is why I chose to tell this story about Ray Martin, yeah? It's because all you younger generation need to understand this. Like, Ray went and messed with a girl that he had no idea was related to boys who were gang related. And that's the same as all of you out there. Yous are messing with families that you don't know nothing about. You just think, oh, they're innocent families, or you're just stealing a car of someone that's just coming from work, but you don't know who they're related to. You know, you don't know if they're gang related themselves. And so when you get got, or if something happens to you, your whole family's like, why? But your whole family didn't realize it was you that went and got yourself involved in it. And this is why I'm telling this story. Like, Ray didn't know, you know, and all I asked for was an apology, and he refused to apologize. Like, this is how stubborn he was, yeah? And then the first time he got attacked was when boys that I'm very close with tried to get him at Silverwater, you know, and Ray went through things where he was stopped from mixing with Bloodline boys because they knew there was intelligence to the effect of something might happen if Ray gets mixed with us. All right, let's fast forward a bit. Now Ray is a big boy. When I say big, he's massive, yeah, and he's gone and made a reputation for himself. He's joined a few gangs. He's been in a few family gangs. I'm not going to explain too much about that, but he ended up being with the Finks. All right. Now, I was at Goulburn prison. I think it was 2020, just before COVID hit. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was 2020. Yeah, just before COVID hit, and I got told that Ray Martin was coming to Goulburn. Now he was on remand, and I was on remand. All right. Straight away, I got ready. Like, I already knew that he was a big boy. So the first thing that I was going to do as soon as he turned up is I was going to put holes in him, you know, because this guy was the one that tried to assault my sister, you know. And even though my sister and I, had a fallout, she's still my little sister, yeah. And this has been going on for over 10 years. All because Ray refused to apologize. You know, that's all I asked for, you know, was apologize to my sister and I'll let it go. But he refused to apologize. And I just kept getting messages back from Ray saying that, he's about it and he doesn't care. Do what you need to do. So I was like, all right, it is what it is, you know. So while I was sitting at Goulburn waiting for him to turn up, he knew full well that I was there, but he didn't realize how much drama he had. So I found out after I got word that he was coming to Goulburn. I got word that he was coming to the remand yard, my yard. So I was like, sweet, he comes to the remand yard. Then me and one of the young Tongan boys were there waiting for him. But I told the young Tongan guy that wanted to back me up to stay out of it. I said, it's between me and Ray, and I'll sort it myself. But when I went over to the Islander yard, they started telling me, like, hey, did you hear Ray's coming? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, man, hopefully he comes to the Islander yard. I was like, oh, why? And I was shocked. The Tongan boys inside the Islander yard, they wanted to put holes in him. And I was like, oh, what? Okay, whoa, what happened? So apparently throughout Ray Martin's whole gang-related life, he had made a lot of enemies, you know, and so a lot of people were waiting for him to turn up so they could put holes in him, you know. So this is why this story needs to be told. I'm not trying to put Ray on show. All I'm trying to do is explain to you, younger generation, you know, you F with the wrong person, you're going to end up with holes in you, you know. And this is what I'm going to highlight, yeah. You have an opportunity right now to change. When you hear my stories, you have an opportunity to change, or you have an opportunity to stay on that straight and narrow path. You know, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Here's my story. Hopefully you learn from it. Now, what I'm explaining about Ray is so funny because the Finks that were there, remember, this is Ray's own gang, yeah? They had dramas with him. And I was like, what the? I was full shocked, you know? Ray was like, the Finks were saying when Ray comes, they were going to chop him. And I was like, oh, what happened? And apparently Ray had spoken out of school and they wanted to pull him up about it. And I was like, ooh, wow. So it doesn't matter where Ray goes, far out, he's going to get chopped. Comes to the remand yard, chopped. Goes to the Islander yard, chopped. Goes to the Fink yard, which is his own gang, chopped. You know what I mean? But he can't go to the Kuri yard because he's not Kuri, and he can't go to the Muslim yard because he's not Muslim. So wherever he went, he was going to get got. So I was like, wow. All right, let's see what happens when he gets here. Boom, Ray Martin gets the Goulburn. I'm sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden, I see this big bloke, and I'm telling you, I was like, what the hell? That's not the Ray Martin I saw in the photo. This guy was massive, yeah? He comes walking towards my yard. I had my shirt off because obviously, like, I was waiting for him, you know? As he started walking towards my yard, he stops, and I'm standing there. I'm looking at him, but he's looking sideways, you know? Like, he's trying not to stare at me, but I was trying to stare him down, but I couldn't because he wasn't looking at me, but he was intentionally not looking at me because his body was facing my way, but his head was face down like this, all right? And as the screw went to open my gate, the other screw goes, no. And he goes, what? He goes, he's remand. And the other screw goes, no, he's not going in there. He's going in here. And they put him in the Fink yard, all right? Now, when Ray walks into the Fink yard, I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, he's going to get chopped, bro. And I was like, all right, all good. I don't have to do anything to him because his own gang's going to do it to him. But guess what happened? I don't think the Fink boys realized how big Ray was, yeah? Ray walks into the yard, and I'm standing there waiting for the Fink boys to attack him. But then they walked over and they shook his hand. I was like, what the? I thought these guys were going to chop him, bro. And when they walked over and shook his hand, I was standing there and I was like, what the hell? And they were like hugging him, giving him kisses. And I was like, wait, these are the same blokes that were telling me for the last 2 weeks that as soon as he walks into the yard, they're going to chop him. But this is what I realized. The Fink boys at the time, they knew he was on remand. So they started talking it up, not thinking that Ray was going to come to their yard. They thought Ray was going to come to the remand yard or the island yard. But when Ray got there, the screws asked him, what gang are you in? And he goes, I'm a Fink. So the screws automatically said, you know what? Let's not chuck him in the remand yard. Let's chuck him in the Fink yard. So the Finks made a big mistake at the time because they didn't realize how big he was. When the bloke walked in, for those of you who are not understanding exactly what I'm saying, if you're a 9-to-5 person, bikie gangs are Australia-wide. So they don't all know each other. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them like meet and they're like, oh, hi, I'm from Liverpool chapter, oh yeah, I'm from Wollongong chapter, but they don't know each other, but they're in the same gang. So this is what happened that day. When Ray walked in, all these guys that were talking rubbish about him had never actually seen him before. They just used to talk to him through segregation, yeah? And when he walked in, they all started sucking his, you know what? Shaking his hand, giving him the little brother hug, you know? And then he went and sat down and he had his back to them. And not one person did anything to him, you know? And I was like, whoa. I go, bro, these guys all shit their pants. Not one person did anything, but they were all talking it up. When I say talking it up, I'm not even like exaggerating. When I say talking it up, these guys are a full-known bikie gang who are ruthless, yeah, like the Fink boys. And I'm not trying to put down the Fink boys. All I'm saying is the boys that were there that day, they full buckled, bro. I swear. One islander, and there was about 16, 17 guys in there, and not one person made a move. Yeah? So he sits down, and then they start giving him food, and they start asking him if he's all right. And I'm standing there at the fence, waiting for something to happen. And then the Tongan guy whispers to me, and he goes, bro, I don't think these guys are going to do anything. I mean, oh yeah, that's the Tongan guy's name was Moala. He was actually a very good kid. I really liked him, Tongan kid. And then he goes, I don't think they're going to do it. I go, yeah. I go, obviously they're freaking all buckled, you know. Now, days go by, nothing happens. Weeks go by, nothing happens. And I thought, you know what? Stuff this. So I called the Finks boys over, you know, the ones that were talking it up. I go, boys, come over here. So they came over to the fence, and then I whispered to them. Obviously, I didn't want to talk loud because Ray was listening, yeah? And I go to them, why the F did you talk it up? And they're like, oh, what do you mean, Uso? I said, bro, you were saying you were going to chop him as soon as he walks into the yard. But as soon as you guys saw how big he was, all of you freaking buckled. I go, bro, he's fucking a waste of time. And I swear to you, all these things said to me that day was like, nah, like, bro, like, he's one of the boys. So, you know, like, we have to give him an opportunity to explain himself, you know, like, we can't just run in. We can't just run in and chop one of the boys, you know. And I started laughing. I was actually laughing at their faces, yeah. And I was saying, get out of here, you freaking shit talkers. Okay, bro, what do you mean give him an opportunity to talk? Okay, bro, are you a gangster or not? All that freaking talk you were talking before he got here, and as soon as he gets here, you freaking buckle. Get the F out of here, bro. And this is what I'm telling all you younger generation out there, you know. You all go around thinking you're badasses right now, but as soon as you freaking meet up with your enemy, straight away, you're either gonna buckle or they're gonna buckle. But I'm telling you right now, you keep living this life that you're living, you're gonna end up just like Ray Martin, in walking into a yard where people are supposed to be your brother, people are supposed to be your comrade, people are supposed to have your back to the death. And guess what? They were all plotting against you before you got there. All right? So this is why I'm telling this freaking story to all you younger generation out there, because you all think that you're all brothers. You all think that loyalty, sincerity, reliability is an easy thing. It's not an easy thing, because I'm telling you, when the consequences come knocking, it's your closest that turn on you. It's your closest that are plotting behind your back. Get that in you, all right? Now, as soon as one of the older boys came there, he wasn't a think. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a very good brother. He's got a son. Both of these two guys ended up at Goulburn while Ray Martin was there, yeah? I'm not going to explain this story into detail. This story is already spread like wildfire, because obviously there's a lot of people who do love Ray. And mind you, I never had a problem with Ray. My issue was he tried to harm my sister, and all I asked for was an apology. And all the crap that Ray went through when it came to our guys was all because he was so stubborn to apologize. You know, a simple apology would have got him out of it, yeah? Now, the yards ended up getting switched. The remand yard ended up having the big yard because we got more numbers, and the think yard, because they had small numbers, they went into the small yard. Now, this is the situation where Ray ended up getting hurt, but I'm going to explain it thoroughly to you guys, yeah? Messages had come back and forth from everyone, and everybody knew, like, I wanted Ray Martin chopped, the Islander boys wanted him chopped, and Think boys were doing the undercover ones as well, you know, like they also wanted him chopped. But because he was in there, no one could do anything for him, so he was walking around freely thinking he was safe, but little did he know, his own brothers were plotting against him, yeah? Now, Ray was sitting down that morning, I think he was reading a newspaper, all right? And the word had already come to me that Ray was going to get got, all right? And not only was he going to get got because of all the drama he had started between all the gangs, but he was also going to get got because of Think issues, yeah? Like, Think is the name of the gang, for those of you who don't know. F-I-N-K, all right? And the Thinks had now been ordered from one of the heavies to take on this mission, yeah? And this is what I'm saying, like, the heavies I'm talking about are the most humblest people, yeah? But these so-called full-time gangsters had to be told, like, what to do and when to do it, because they buckled when they were gonna do it, you know. So they had to be told, hey, this is how it's gonna be done. Wait for him to friggin' to sit down where he's. So when you sit down on the table, yeah, I'm gonna show it to you guys. All right, this is my table. See this table here? All right, that's my table, yeah. So in prison, there's like a long chair that goes here, yeah, and then there's a table like here. Now, when you sit down, you have to put your legs over the top of the chair, and then you're pretty much stuck from table to chair. So if you get hit, yeah, you can't actually get out because your legs are stuck on here. So you can try to like get out of it quick, but you know, it's good luck to you. Like, this is what happened to Ray. He couldn't defend himself because he was stuck between the chair and the table, all right? Now, the boys over there had organized that this day was the day that Ray was gonna get got. Everyone was waiting for it. Everyone was in the know. So I was also standing there, and I was just like watching, waiting. I didn't know whether they were going to buckle again or not, but I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen because the heavies were the ones that caught the shot. And the funniest thing is this: Ray didn't do himself any favors. All right. Yeah, he had the intimidation build, and also the intimidating height. Sorry, what the hell? It's saying to me that I can't get gifts anymore. Is this the thing? This notice is unclear. I'm still not sure why I got this restriction. I'm appealing it. I understand the decision, but the restrictions is too strict. Something else? I press something else, babe? My life does not contain the content mentioned. Something else? Submit.
You have the right.
Provide. Wait. Oh, I have to provide a reason. Provide details for your appeal. I did. Sorry, everyone. All right. I submitted my appeal. Sorry, guys. I don't know if someone's reporting me or whatever, but this thing came up and said that I can't get gifts or some shit, and they're trying to stop me from talking. Anyway, let's finish this story. Ray's sitting there. Long story short, Let's finish why Ray didn't do himself any favors. While Ray was with his own gang, they started talking about loyalty, and I don't know what Ray was thinking, but he said to them, "Oh, if the Hell's Angels reached out to me with the right price, I would leave." I'm gonna slap myself in the face. But he said this to his own gang. Like, you wonder why they gathered up the courage to take him on. It's because, like, Ray wasn't doing himself any favors. He's standing there in a think yard who's his own gang, and then he tells them that, yeah, he has loyalty, but if another gang offers him big money, he would leave. Bro, of course you're going to get chopped. They're like, bro, it doesn't matter how scared people are. Right, at the end of the day, they got the numbers, and bro, they're going to turn on you if you're talking that type of itcha, I don't know what Ray was thinking, but when he said this, the whole yard ended up saying, you know what, stuff this. He goes, we're going to take him out. So he didn't do himself any favors. Now let's fast forward to what happened. Ray walked in to the yard, and then he went and he sat down. Now, the bloke was stuck between the table and the chair. I don't know if he was reading a newspaper or eating, but he was sitting down, and I remember when I walked past and I saw him, he was like leaned forward over the table, so I don't know what he was doing. But all I seen was a Breville. It came around and it just went whack like that, and they just kept whacking him and whacking him and whacking him, and then the other guy had a blade, and he was just going to town on Ray. And when he was going to town on Ray, like, Ray was covering up, because remember, Ray can't do nothing, he's stuck in between. Hey, hang on a sec, guys. Before I continue with this story, everyone's telling me to reset. Should I reset this? Hey, should I reset? Yeah? Because last time I didn't reset, they cut me off for 2 weeks. Reset.